Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Should I also recite the prayers or leave them?
I will do it later collectively,
Okay.
maybe for now.
Okay. The great sages said, "Dear King, we have come to give you a good advice. Kindly hear us with great attention. By doing so, your duration of life and your opulence, strength, and your reputation will increase. Those who live according to religious principles and who follow them by words, mind, body, and intelligence are elevated to the heavenly kingdom, which is devoid of all miseries. Being thus rid of material influence, they achieve unlimited happiness in life." The sages continued, "O great hero, for this reason you should not be the cause of spoiling the spiritual life of the general populace. If their spiritual life is spoiled because of your activities, you will certainly fall down from your opulent and royal position." The saintly persons continued, "When the king protects the citizens from the disturbances of mischievous ministers as well as from thieves and rogues, he can, by virtue of such pious activities, accept taxes given by his subjects. Thus, a pious king can certainly enjoy himself in this world as well as in the life after death." The king is supposed to be pious in whose state and cities the general populace strictly observes the system of 8 social orders of Varna and Ashrama, and where all citizens engage in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead by their particular occupations. O noble one, if the king sees that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of the cosmic manifestation and the supersoul within everyone, is worshipped, the Lord will be satisfied. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by the great demigods who are controllers of universal affairs. When he is satisfied, nothing is impossible to achieve. For this reason, all the demigods, presiding deities of different planets, as well as the inhabitants of their planets, take great pleasure in offering all kinds of paraphernalia for his worship. Dear King, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with the predominating deities, is the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices in all planets. The Supreme Lord is the sum total of the 3 Vedas, the owner of everything, and the ultimate goal of austerity. Therefore, your countrymen should engage in performing various sacrifices for your elevation. Indeed, you should always direct them towards the offering of sacrifices. When all the Brahmanas engage in performing sacrifices in your kingdom, all the demigods who are plenary expansions of the Lord will be very much satisfied by their activities and will give you your desired result. Therefore, O hero, do not stop the sacrificial performances. If you stop them, you will disrespect the demigods." King Vena replied, "You are not at all experienced. It is very much regrettable that you are maintaining something which is not religious and are accepting it as religious. Indeed, I think you are giving up your real husband, who maintains you, and are searching after some paramour to worship. Those who, out of gross ignorance, do not worship the king, who is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, experience happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. You are so much devoted to the demigods, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for these demigods is exactly like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects her married life and gives all attention to her paramour. Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of air, Yama, the superintendent of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Kuvera, the treasurer, the moon god, the predominating deity of the earth, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of waters, and all others who are great and competent to bestow benedictions or to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as the reservoir of all demigods, who are simply parts and parcels of the king's body. King Vena continued, "For this reason, O Brahmanas, you should abandon your envy of me, and by your ritualistic activities you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me who can accept the first oblations of all sacrifices." The great sage Maitreya continued, "Thus the king, who became unintelligent due to his sinful life and deviation from the right path, became actually bereft of all good fortune. He could not accept the requests of the great sages, which the sages put before him with great respect, and therefore he was condemned. My great Vidura, all good fortune unto you." The foolish king, who thought himself very learned, thus insulted the great sages, and the sages, being broken-hearted by the king's words, became very angry at him. All the great saintly sages immediately cried, kill him, he is the most dreadful, sinful person. If he lives, he will certainly turn the whole world into ashes in no time." The saintly sages continued, "This impious, impudent man does not deserve to sit on the throne at all. He is so shameless that he even dared insult the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence?" The great sages, thus manifesting their covert anger, immediately decided to kill the king. King Vena was already as good as dead, due to his blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, without using any weapons, the sages killed King Vena simply by high-sounding words. After this, the sages returned to their respective hermitages. The mother of King Vena, Sunitha, became very much aggrieved because of her son's death. She decided to preserve the dead body of her son by application of certain ingredients and by chanting mantras, mantra yogena. Once upon a time, the same saintly persons, after taking their bath in the river Saraswati, began to perform their daily duties by offering oblations into the sacrificial fires. After this, sitting on the bank of the river, they began to talk about the transcendental person and his pastimes. In those days, there were various disturbances in the country that were creating a panic in society. Therefore, all the sages began to talk amongst themselves. Since the king is dead, and there is no protector in the world, misfortune may befall people in general on account of rogues and thieves. When the great sages were carrying on their discussion in this way, they saw a dust storm arising from all directions. This storm was caused by the running of thieves and rogues who were engaged in plundering the citizens. Upon seeing the dust storm, the saintly persons who could understand that there were a great deal of irregularities due to the death of King Vena. Without government, the state was devoid of law and order, and consequently, there was a great uprising of murderers, thieves, and rogues who were plundering the riches of the people in general. Although the great sages could subdue the disturbance by their powers, just as they could kill the king, they considered it improper on their part to do so. Thus, they did not attempt to stop the disturbance. The great sages began to think that although a Brahmana is peaceful and impartial because he is equal to everyone, it is still not his duty to neglect poor humans. By such neglect, a Brahmana's spiritual power diminishes, just as water kept in a cracked pot leaks out. The sages decided that the descendants of the family of the saintly King Anga should not be stopped, for in this family the semen was very powerful and the children were prone to become devotees of the Lord. After making a decision, the saintly persons and sages churned the thighs of the dead body of King Vena with great force and according to a specific method. As a result of this churning, a dove-like person was born from King Vena's body. This person, born from King Vena's thighs, was named Bahuka, and his complexion was as black as a crow's. All the limbs of his body were very short, his arms and legs were short, and his jaws were large. His nose was flat, his eyes were reddish, and his hair copper-colored. He was very submissive and meek, and immediately after his birth he bowed down and inquired, "Sirs, what shall I do?" The great sages replied, "Please sit down, Nishida." Thus Nishada, the father of the Naishada race, was born. After his, Nishada's birth, he immediately took charge of all the resultant actions of King Vena's sinful activities. As such, this Naishada class are always engaged in sinful activities like stealing, plundering, and hunting. Consequently, they are only allowed to live in the hills and forests.
Thank you very much,
Hare
Tratiya
Krishna.
Mataji. How was it? How did you find
Yes,
reading?
was nice. Yes.
Mm. Yeah. So let's see how Prabhupada enlightens us with the purports from this. But of course, to cover all the purports will take us a week full of time. But we, yeah. So we don't have that. Yeah, we only have 1 hour. So we will see. We go through this quite briefly. Everyone can offer their prayers along. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumiltam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवता सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So we'll start from verse 1, just kind of giving us a context. What we are talking here is about King Vena, who is son of King Anga and Sunita, who is Sunita is the daughter of Yama, mm, or even called Mrityu personified, death personified. So, for the welfare of people, the sages they enthroned Vena as the king because a kingdom after Anga left, he understood this place is now a place of suffering because my son Vena has created so much disturbances to the people, and he was even thinking maybe there are some great reasons or good reasons why wife and husband they may even pray to the Lord that let us not have children at all, mm, because might be that they know that it can be cause of suffering, and he understood very soon this as a blessing of the Lord to have a enlightenment, renunciation is the path that he could see, and he left. And when he left the kingdom was without a king, and the sages felt it is very very risky or it's very dangerous because the thieves and rogues will take the opportunity, they will plunder because there is no protection. So they approached Anga's wife, Sunita, and after discussing, said, "We want to enthrone Vena as the king, for the welfare of the people. That is the plan. It's not like, okay, for any other reason, but they honestly want to try. They very well know King Vena is not the competent king, but what if a kingdom without a king is even more dangerous? They wanted to honestly try out. So the sages, headed with by Bhrigu Muni, they went and discussed this with Sunita, and then enthroned. Enthroned. Of course, the ministers disagreed. What kind of king are you bringing? A king? Uh, even the thieves and rogues are scared to have such a king. Why? Because this king is more dangerous thief than themselves. Yeah, this king is a big rogue having no ethics, no um, mm, etiquettes, no concern for the people. So he would definitely be exploiting his position as a king, and even they hide themselves because mm, they were very well aware. If King Vena will find them out, then he will kill them, because now he's in the power and he has everything, all support. So that's why they also even hid themselves. So in this way, the thieves became fearful, and Vena became very very proud, becoming the king. mm. And becoming king means becoming very wealthy because all the riches of the country are in his hand, and he considered himself the greatest and began insulting great personalities. So this is also, uh, if one is not careful when one gets power, then he can immediately considers himself as, oh, the most qualified person, and he demands everything for himself. And Vena was doing the same. And Vena was traveling, he was blind, intoxicated, proud, uncontrolled. He traveled everywhere, causing the earth and sky to tremble. Mm. So this is what another thing happens to increase the name and fame, because you have a backup as a power that can save you, that can protect you, that can help you. Then people can just do whatever they want. So King Vena was not exception in this. Here he traveled all over and created all kinds of disturbances. And then, now sages, they saw, okay, what we thought initially and what's happening. So we need to pacify Vena. So they approached, and sages, after their discussion that they need to now discuss and find a way out, they approached Vena, and they said, people are in danger from both directions. I mean, no, this is what they were discussing. Sorry, that what is the condition of the people now? Huh? The condition of people is just like the ants on a stick which is burned by from both sides. So where can the ants go? On one side, the king is harming, and on the other side, thieves are harming. So where is the shelter? So this mischievous king, by nature, he is very mischievous because of his born from Sunita. I mean, I won't be able to describe who is Sunita, but she is, yeah, if we see Vena is doing all these cruel things, it is coming from the qualities of Sunita, because she, of course, she's daughter of mm, Mrityu Dev, or Yamaraj. Mm, there are these all qualities. She was also torturing. She was doing so many. I mean, anyway, that pastime itself is a background where one can understand Vena is not um, a miracle kid that all of a sudden he is spoiled by association. No, it's not that he had association. He has the qualities that are imbibed hereditary from his mother, and that causes this. So here they tried. They were thinking, okay, if king himself is like this, very it's like a situation of the people is very pathetic. And then um, if we are supporting this wicked man, it's like supporting a snake by providing milk. mm. By providing milk, the snake doesn't become sattvic. The snake doesn't pacify, but rather the poison, because it's nurtured by strength, and that strength is what? It's poison. So let us pacify him. If we appointed him to protect, but now if he is doing this, we should try to pacify him. If need arises, let us even kill him. That's the plan. Yeah, pacify is a peaceful approach, but if a person is arrogant and adamant, doesn't want to hear, then the solution is to do what? To mm, to kill him. Mm, one sec. Yeah. Um, So that was the yeah, and from there where now Dorothea Mataji was reading that the sages try to pacify the way that they were telling him, enlightening him, but a blind person or a deaf person, both. Yeah, if we speak to a deaf person, he cannot understand. If we show a picture of how his future looks like to his mind, he cannot understand. If we show uh, um, what is reality to his eyes, he can't understand because he is blind from all directions. So here, uh, sages were saying, please hear our good advice attentively. Come on. The king who is arrogant, who will hear? No. Uh, and but the sages are saying by hearing you will benefit. What kind of benefit will you get? Doing so will increase your life duration. Uh, First of all, you get long life. Who doesn't want it? People want long life. That's why they try many things so that they can live longer and longer and longer. And okay, some people may not want to live longer because, oh, this world is full of suffering. But just imagine if a person is provided with opulences, and then at least now he might desire, yes, long life is good and opulences, but if he cannot protect them, what is the use? Okay, uh, strength is important, right? Strength and fame. If all these things are there, who want to go out of this material world? Hmm? It's perfect place. So the sages are saying that if you listen to our advice, it's all going to be good for you. Hmm? So just follow the dharma, because to enjoy, to be free, to enjoy freedom and to enjoy pleasure. Yeah, this is what people usually are behind. So the sages say those who follow dharma with word, body, mind, and intelligence become free from miseries. Vishokan. Shok means misery, and Vishoka, free from that. Hmm. Thus, being freed from material influence, they achieve what? Liberation. So, this is what one wants. One wants freedom from suffering and also eternal. Not just, okay, free, for today, let the suffering be gone. Tomorrow, okay, let's see. No, we always aspire for freedom of um, freedom from suffering. Hmm. So, and the sages are also saying, by doing this, by following what we are saying, by following dharma, hmm, what you do is you avoid a fall down. Hmm. First, they were telling what is the benefit of following, and if they don't, if he doesn't follow, what happens is a fall down. Your activities should not be cause of spoiling. Your activities only should help you to free yourself. Yeah, and spiritual life of your citizens is in your hands. So you have to give protection, and this will lead. Uh, Being you're in a royal position, you should protect. That is your duty, dharma. You cannot give up, uh, and you cannot behave irresponsible. Why? Because a pious king uh, is one who enjoys uh, in both lives. Like, if you do good now, not only you are enjoying now, because people will facilitate you. People will give their love and affection to you. People will support you. uh, Not only in this life, because you have done dharmic, you have led a dharmic life, because you have led a right way of living, or you are also entitled to get benefited in the next life. So a pious king who protects the citizens from mischievous ministers, thieves, and rogues can accept taxes. By accepting taxes, you can enjoy now, and enjoy both in this world and the next. So, uh, collecting, accumulating taxes rightfully is the right way, because indeed the king uh, is taking care of the people. But if the king doesn't take care of the people and just demand taxes, it is compared like milking a cow, hmm, uh, and the cow is not giving milk but actually blood, because there is no more milk. Hmm. It causes a lot of suffering. So when the Lord is satisfied, because when you do good, then first of all, our deeds and actions should be to satisfy the Lord. It is not to satisfy people's personal interest. It should be to satisfy the Lord. A pious king in whose state Varnashram is strictly observed and where all the citizens worship the Lord by their occupations give satisfaction to the Lord. Because the Lord has provided this process of how to purify our existence in harmony, cooperating with each other, which is called Varnashrama Dharma. And by that process, uh, one can elevate, and this is satisfies the Lord. Indeed, yes, people are doing what they are supposed to do. And after this, when the Lord is satisfied, what is impossible to achieve? Everything is achievable. For this reason, all the demigods and inhabitants of various planets take pleasure in offering all kinds of paraphernalia for his worship. So, in this way, uh, the sages were telling that satisfy the Lord. Huh? First, he was saying that satisfy for your well-being. What is it? Freedom from miseries. You should do it. If you don't do that, you are creating your own problem. You will fall down. And then the sages are also telling that, yeah, satisfy the Lord. That is the best thing. Hmm? When the Lord is satisfied, everything is possible. Demigod satisfaction. When demigods who are expansions of the Lord are satisfied, they will give you desired results. But if you stop the sacrifices, you will disrespect the demigods. Hmm. when this kind, because the Lord arranged this mechanism, and if one is not following it, then everything uh, leads to disturbance. Yeah, just like when we see a lot of droughts, lot of earthquakes, lot of what do you call natural calamities are happening, cyclones, typhoons. No, is it typhoons, right? No, typhoons, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so all these things are happening. Yeah, whirlpools. Yeah. So anyway, all these kind of things are happening because um, uh, we see these as natural disasters. But why these natural disasters are happening? Because the demigods are dissatisfied. Uh, Not only that, why are they dissatisfied? Mm, because they are not entitled to provide all comforts irrespective of irresponsible people. They need to punish because they are in the administration of the Lord for a purpose. So in this way, the sages were saying, and Vena, who was he thought he was patiently hearing to what the sages were saying, but now he said, "You guys are very inexperienced. Uh, Baal means child. You guys are childish. What are you talking?" Huh? And in this way, there are two meanings to understand. One is childish here to say that you people are not intelligent. Huh? You lack the right understanding. And then why? The king is explaining why, because he's saying it is regrettable that you are considering adharma to be dharma. So Vena is thinking that he is following dharma. This is very interesting. Yeah. A person who is cause of suffering to everyone, he is still thinking that he is doing right. A similar instance is also we see that Hiranyakashipu, he was creating all kinds of disturbances, but he thought, yeah, it's all right. What I'm doing is correct. And not only he, even I will think that, even you will think, every one of us are thinking that what we are doing is correct. Otherwise, we wouldn't even sleep huh, so peacefully. We are sleeping peacefully because we think that dharmically I am doing right. Even a thief thinks that what he does is right. Hmm? Just like in Ratnakar's story, he's thinking that he's taking care of his family. How is he doing? He would simply blame the society. Hey, the society didn't respect me. They thought that I am a bad. I am coming from a what do you call this? A race. Hmm. I'm coming from uh, untouchable creed or a crash. Anyway, kind of discrimination made him feel feel um, less important to the society, and the society have outcasted him. And then he thinks, how can I survive? Huh? When I am not protected by the king, I should protect myself. Huh? And when I am protecting myself, it's not so easy. I need to find my ways. I need to kill animals. I need to rob people. I need to become a thief. For you it is looking adharma, for me it is dharma, because first for survival one can do anything. So in that way, one can justify his own position, and in that way, every one of us, we are thinking we are perfect. We may think that no, if I'm telling to someone, I'm telling I'm not perfect, but internally I'm feeling that I am perfect. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done this. Huh? But if we really do introspection, if we really reflect our life very, very honestly, then we understand how many mistakes we have committed. And when we understand this, we get scared. Just like in the case of Ratnakar, he got scared. Oh, I have been thinking that I am doing everything correct, but Narad Muni, he has opened my eyes and he helped me to understand that I am committing sin. So then he started shivering, he started trembling because his he has a whole heap of sins. Don't we think that we don't have it? We do have. We have committed so many things. If we really, really look up, maybe at least we don't know what we did in the last lives. At least in this life, we definitely can check and see, understand that, oh, I have a long way to go to get purified. And then that is the reason why we take shelter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, um, approach the spiritual master. And yeah, of course, this, what is this? We are discussing, right, in Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, 8 to 12. What is that? Amanitvam, adambitvam, uh, ahimsa, kshantir, saucha, saucham. Hmm, correct. Yeah. So, and then acharyopasanam. Yeah, correct. Acharyopasanam saucham. Here comes. So in this, and then approaching a spiritual master is very important. Otherwise, we think always that we are great, we are perfect. We some people sometimes don't even want to go to a guide or a mentor or a counselor or a spiritual master. Why? Because they are scared. Oh, if I go to them, they may change my plan. And I think I am perfect. Why should I change? Yeah, maybe the person is not understanding me well, so what he may give, there is a 50-50 chance that it can be right or wrong. But when I think, because I am the best person to know who I am, uh, I think I have 100% chance to take a right decision. And that's why we don't even approach people. So this causes us to go downward, because Krishna is saying people who are in the mode of ignorance are casted in the hell, life after life, life after life. And how many lives? First of all, human life itself is very difficult to get. And how many such lives are we going to mm, sacrifice, which is called a spiritual suicide? If we don't make best out of this life, then whatever we are doing is simply, yeah, a suicide. Hmm. Anyway, so that, so here um, sages try to help Vena so that the citizens can be protected. But on the other side, what is happening is Vena, he didn't understand it rightly. He is thinking, you guys are fools. You are childish. You are not matured. You do not have experience. That's why you are understanding dharma as, so adharma as dharma. But let me tell you what is dharma. And what did he tell? What is dharma? He says that you are giving up your real husband, which is dharma. What is the real husband? Your job is to take care of me. Your job is to glorify me. Your job is to understand that I am your supreme Lord. And this is what he is saying, that the king is the supreme Lord. Those who out of ignorance do not worship king, who is actually the supreme Lord. Nripa, Rupinam, Ishwaram. So he is the controller. He is the supreme. Experience happiness neither in this world nor next. You are telling that if I follow you, I will have happiness in this life and next life. But I am telling you, the way that you are dealing, you will not be happy in this life and next life. This is what is Vena telling. And you have just you have become like a unchaste woman, who, though she has a husband, but she is running after her um, illegal partner, looking after a paramour to enjoy pleasure. So no, you should actually worship me. mm. You know what? King is the reservoir of all the demigods, and this is very very um, mm, a dangerous condition. huh? If we have gyan, if we have knowledge, it is very very risky. We may think that I know everything. Because I have the knowledge, I know everything. Whatever I see, whatever I say, whatever I do, everything is perfect. Hmm? Having knowledge is one thing, but having wisdom is another thing. Wisdom is something through which we see this, we apply it, this knowledge, and then realize, and which leads to self-realization, understanding that I am not this body. So it's not just gyan, it's vigyan is very important. And when we have only gyan, we can just uh, use it for our own benefit, turn it, twist it, and mm, um, use it for us. Here, King Vena is doing the same thing. What is he doing? He is just manipulating the Shastras. What he's saying is absolutely right, but the king also should be qualified. He's not taking that point. He's just saying what even Krishna is saying. Yeah, in Bhagavad Gita, he said that yeah, among among the what is it? Among the rulers, I am the king. Yeah. So in that way, so which means what he's saying, fine. So he's saying now you understand that I am this. So you guys have to worship me. Why? Huh? I am the supreme. He started giving a list he says that I am Vishnu, I am Shiva, I am Brahma, I am Varuna, I am Agni, I am that, I am everything. I am uh, manifestation of everything. Hmm. All reside in the body of a king. Don't you know that? If you know that, you wouldn't have come. You wouldn't have come and spoke this. So you should understand that you should, for your own benefit, whatever you're doing now is harmful for your this life, next life, but for your benefit, I'm telling, you should worship me with all your offerings and abandon your envy. I think it is because of your envy you're acting like this. You're thinking like this because, oh, you got something which I don't know. I got something that you don't have it. Because you don't have it, because of that, you have envy or you're envious of me. Because of your envy, you are thinking that I am supposed to surrender to you. Rather, um, who accept me is to enjoy the first oblations in all sacrifices. So this is what Vena was saying, and now the sages heard enough. They heard enough, especially when they said, "Hey, I am Vishnu. I am the demigods. What is this? What kind of theory it is? Thinking that I am God." When we are talking about Mayavad philosophy, impersonalist, or as we sometimes hear some people, "Hey, I am Brahman. I am Lord. I am also Lord. We are all also lords." Okay, then who is the servants? Hmm? There is no servant system. Then when there is no servant system, there is a lord system? How can there be a lord system there? A lord means there is a servant, definitely. Hmm? So, and that is an eternal relationship. It is not that, okay, one is suddenly becoming a god. Hmm. One day, if people are appraising, people are appreciating, people are saying something great about me, all of a sudden I become God. And one fine day, when I get toothache, I will go to a dentist, huh? Just like a normal man. Hmm. No, it's not like that. Anyway, so Vena's nature triggered great anger in the sages. uh, Vena, who was having this kind of uh, um, foolish intelligence. Yeah, foolish intelligence. It appears to be intelligence, but it's a foolish intelligence, means thinking dharma as adharma, as simple as that. And he is committing a lot of sins, and he is deviated from the right path. He lost all good fortune, thought himself very learned. So all these things could not be accepted by the sages, and they felt very very broken heart. And then they became very angry and spoke as follows. They said, "Kill him." Now we think that I think sages aren't they Brahmanas? Brahmanas should be very compassionate. Brahmins should be um, uh, not taking things to their heart if someone is insulting. All these things. How come the sages here are even cursing or even saying, "Kill him"? If he lives, he will quickly turn the whole world to ashes. That is the reason why the sages are even ready to commit this. Uh, who wants to kill? It's not a right thing. Killing a king is also not right thing. So, but still they say why? Because uh, they are very uh, um, they are very kind to the mankind. Yeah. So, if one person has to be corrected, that's okay. If the king becomes demonic like serpents and scorpions, then such people should be replaced. Hmm? And Um, I think, are we coming? Yeah, so I will explain. 34th, I think. This impotent and shameless person who has blasphemed Lord Vishnu does not deserve to sit on the throne. Who except him could criticize the Lord, by whose mercy one gets all fortune and opulence? The sages were thinking, uh, this fool deserves death. Even that kind of punishment is also nice, because they see otherwise he would commit even more crime. Hmm? So sages, they just out of their power, they invoked Humkar. Hmm? With that high frequency sound itself, the king was spot dead. Uh, Nowadays we have a lot of, what is it called, sonics and supersonics, ultrasonics. I don't know what kind of sonic waves that are that are sent to kill people. I don't know. Um, I think all you guys are experts, might tell more. But I think that when there was a dispute in recent time between India and China, China sent some high frequency waves that causes harm to the skin and creates a lot of diseases, dizziness, and all kinds of things, and also burns. I mean, so many things. Yeah. Yeah, it need not be a nuclear weapon or a fire that is shown. Even these invisible things can also do invincible things. So the sages are so powerful that with their humkar, they have killed Vena. Mm. After this, Vena's dead body is preserved by his dear mother Sunita. Mm. Yeah, because she was aggrieved with sorrow. Oh, my son. And yeah, that it also has a reason, right? uh, she was also yeah. Anyway, again, uh, I'll give a context who is Sunita maybe some other time, but her nature is genuinely she is mother, and also mm, another thing is she also had these qualities. She couldn't see that his son was doing wrong. It was not like Prahlad Maharaj who saw, oh, his father has been doing all this disturbance, and when Lord appeared, he said, he prayed, oh, liberate him. So here Sunita was not thinking, yeah, because she was still conditioned. And then finally, the sages observed the disturbances in the kingdom now. What happened one fine day when the sages took bath in the river Saraswati, and on the bank they were discussing transcendental subject matter. They saw there was a dust storm, and this dust storm was caused by what? By the horses which were running uh, run by rogues and thieves. Hey, hooray! Now there is no king, no disturbance. This guy was a terror for us, but now we have a second chance. Usually people think that, oh, second chance is so nice. I have lost my first opportunity, but next chance I will make best out of it. And this time, this rogues and thieves were plundering and creating all kinds of disturbances to the citizens. So the sages thought that, oh, although Brahman is peaceful and equipoised, yeah, okay, we understand that this is the reality of the world. Come on, huh? And whom to blame, or who are we to stop? Why should we stop? Uh, that is the reality. No, the sages again, out of compassion, they were saying that if we don't interfere, then the common people are suffering. So this is the beauty of saint. A sadhu is the one who is really thinking about others' welfare. Of course, I'm not talking about that kind of uh, welfare activities in the name of selfish interest. Yeah? The sadhus were equipoised. For them, they don't need opulences. For them, they are already peaceful. They don't need to satisfy their what do you call, kamopeksha, yeah, the desires, propensities that are there. They don't need to satisfy because they are satisfied. They are equipoised. But for the welfare of others, they are ever eager. that everyone should become a devotee of the Lord and should be given protection, facilities, and mm, opportunity. So that's why now, mm, and they were also thinking, this dynasty which is coming from whom? Manu, which is coming from whom? Again, Dhruva Maharaj, such a great devotees, and who from whom? Anga. He is also a great devotee of the Lord. So definitely hereditary, yeah. This dynasty or this heritage of great devotees, yeah, should continue. Mm. So, um, thinking so, they were thinking it should not stop. Uh, they were thinking, and then came the birth of Bahuka. How? Mm, They approached Queen Vinita, and they took the dead body of Vena, and then they started churning the thighs of Vena, and from this churning process, a blackish, short person who is dwarf, had a red copper hair. Uh, yeah, he appeared, and with humility, meek, and everything. Yeah, good. He paid obeisances to the sages, and um, then mm, he, he 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 got this name. I mean, Bahuka is the name, but he's also addressed as Nishad. Nishita, yeah, means to sit here. The sages were saying, "Ha, come and sit," and that's how his dynasty was named from there as Naishad. So, if you see in Ramayana, also we come across uh, King Guha, King Guha, yeah, uh, yeah, who is friend of Lord Ram. He is coming from this race, and of course, this race is not a proper Kshatriya race. Why? Because here we see that this person has come from whose body? Vena. And what kind of person was Vena? He was infused by the bad qualities of his mother, by birth. Yeah, from this came, and Vena's body was produced from both Anga and Sunita, right? So one half is good and another half is bad, and that bad half is what came up from this churning of thighs. hmm. And because of accepting the terrible sins of Vena on being born, Naisha's descendant are always engaged in sinful activities and reside in the hills and forests. So that's how uh, we see that Naishad Bahuka appeared. But this is not what the sages wanted, right? They wanted a proper king, and that's what we will discuss next week. Who is that king? That king is Prithu Maharaj, who is coming from this um, the good side of Vena. What is that? From Anga's qualities, and that's what we'll discuss next week. Thank you very much. There anything anyone would like to share, add, comment, or any questions? Yeah, Dorothea Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. I don't remember what was written in the 21st verse, but I had a question about this verse.
Okay.
I'm not sure anymore.
Shall I show that on the screen?
If there is enough time, then yes, please.
Yeah, we'll make it quickly. Is it 21? Because it's the qualities of the Lord.
Yes, 21.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. So here it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with the predominating deities, is the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices in all planets. So, but in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that only he is the enjoyer, and worshipping the deities, the demigods, is not necessary. So does this mean that the Brahmanas didn't have full knowledge, or?
No, I mean, we see this still absolute. Yeah, it's not like, okay, the Lord is saying that I am the enjoyer, but yeah, that enjoyer is he's accepting through the demigods. So there is no problem.
Okay, thank
Just
you.
like, just like uh, if you're feeding Lord's devotees, then Lord is satisfied. In the end, yeah, it's accepted by the Lord.
But why through the demigods?
Yeah, so he has set up this Vedic process like that. He said that I am giving you this Vedic process of worshipping the demigods. Yeah. So that's where this fire sacrifice, for example, comes, where the Lord is saying, I am the mouth of the yajna. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surada sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shantiruchyati. So to attain peace, you should perform sacrifice. Yeah. And I am the supreme enjoyer of that. Hmm? So this is what you're saying, right? Bhagavad Gita, this is the reference where Krishna is saying, I am the enjoyer. And he is saying that there is a process how to do it. And in Satya Yuga, what was that? In Dwapar Yuga, what is it? In Treta Yuga, what it is? In Kali Yuga, what it is? So Lord is defining what kind of sacrifice he's talking about. But in the end, of course, all these results are going to the Lord. And just like a prime minister of a king of a country, yeah, the tax is collected, yeah, by the tax collector. But who is actually getting it?
The king. I understand the process of that. That, for example, if we give water to the root, then only the branches can get benefit. But I don't understand why
But the
through.
tree is also nurtured by the sunlight that the leaves are getting.
So
Yeah, we are seeing that. Yeah, you're watering the root. Yeah, that is giving the tree the sustenance. But the sunlight is not going into the soil, right? The sunlight is going onto the leaves. Yeah. So, and there is no problem because, of course, if you see the root is the root, right, of the tree, but it is supported. Yeah. So all these angas, yeah, all these branches, usually we see the branches and are facilitating the main. That is the understanding that by pleasing the demigods or by serving the demigods, yeah, ultimately it is the Lord who is still we are serving. We are finding a means. We cannot go to the prime minister and talk, right? If we have a problem, we go to a person who is in our city or in our town.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's as equivalent as actually going to the prime minister, because the prime minister has set up this model such a way that we can reach out to him in this way. Another example is given as a police. Yeah. A police on a street. Who is he representing? The government, isn't it? Yeah. So if you are respecting the police, you are respecting the Lord. So respecting the government. And if you are ill-treating the police, then what does it mean? You're also ill-treating the government. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And regarding what does it mean really demigod worship? Or here, what the Lord is saying is the supreme Lord along with the predominating deities. Yeah. The predominating deities are the means through which a sacrifice is accepted. So the Lord has arranged, okay, there is this Varun who goes and who does that, and there is Chandra who is doing the. So all this is what the Lord has set up. Yeah. That's why it says, right? We see that all the workers are busy working, but the owner is not working. Why? Because he has people to work for him. Why he has to come? I mean, of course, the Lord is ever eager to be with his devotees, Yeah, but he can arrange a means so that he can always receive what. Yeah, I think you're getting the point.
I hope, yes. I think, yes.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Yeah, I mean we can discuss further, because this in itself is a topic about why. But this statement is absolute true. It's not like, okay, they didn't know something and that's what they are saying. Huh? What they speak is
Exactly.
valid. Yeah, from the different references we can bring up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yeah.
Prabhuji,
Hare
can we
Krishna.
say that the worshipper of the demigods is also a worshipper of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu or Krishna?
Very important is, yeah, Krishna himself is saying that worshipping the demigods is less intelligent. I think even Dorothea Mother is also seeing this as a point, and but understanding that they are representative of the Lord, respecting them, worshipping is not an issue. Just like if you are a devotee of the Lord, and if I am respecting you and if I am honoring you, how can that be wrong? But thinking that, oh, I want to benefit everything from you, I don't see that. I'm seeing you as independent from the Lord. No? That demigod worship is less intelligent worship. That's what it means. Not appreciating the actual setup, not understanding that demigods are part and parcel of the Lord. Hmm? Thinking that, oh, if I want to have knowledge or wisdom, let me go to Ganesh. If I want wealth, let me go to Lakshmi or Kuber. Or thinking that, not understanding they are under the uh, mm, uh, control. Yeah, because the supreme control, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So the cause of all causes is the supreme. The supreme controller is Krishna. And the demigods are his means through which everything is organized and functioning. So having this understanding and respecting them, worshipping is one thing. But not understanding this, but thinking that, hey, Krishna is also one of the demigod. Hmm? Or, okay, Krishna is God, but okay, but I don't have to do anything with that. This feeling of independently or not having the right complete holistic understanding, yeah, is what is less intelligence. This is what Krishna is saying. Yeah. Hadiras
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So we should
Yes.
have the right understanding. So that means even if we are going to Lord Shiva, for example, what we are praying is, oh Lord, all merciful, please bless us so that we can serve the Lord properly. Hmm?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you for nice narration. Prabhuji, about his King Vena, his parents. So his father was very pious, virtuous devotee, but still, yeah, he tried to do everything to nurture good qualities in him. But why it did not work? Because of influence of mother, or
Good question. So why there was no 100% effect of the, because here it is said na, the sages were thinking the seminal potency of of devotee, or a person coming in the dynasty. Uh, what happened to the child? Hmm? The child didn't give any chance from day one. He was already creating all kinds of tortures, and his father was giving his best, but this conditioning so strong. This conditioning. Actually, Sunita, her nature was very much like this. She was creating all kinds of disturbances, yeah, before marriage, right? before her marriage, what she was doing is she was kind of creating all kinds of disturbances. She was torturing sages who were doing yajnas, all these things, and then one fine day she got a curse. She got a curse that your child will become like that. Hmm? And because of which, yeah, um, uh, she had very tough time to find a husband. And she was even doing some tapasya, or I don't exactly remember, but then Rambha from heavenly planet, she came, and when she heard Sunita's situation, then what happened was she said, you know, I will tell you one secret mantra, and if you do that, you can do uh, Vasikarana. I don't know what is this. You can mesmerize people, and with that power you can achieve what you want. And she did that on King Anga. Hmm. So it's very very important. That's why we see, I mean, if you see in India, still people are following what is this compatibility charts, like you know, will these two people fit in, what is the birth chart of a girl, what is the birth chart of a boy, to really see what kind of mentality he has. And how is it coming? This is coming because of his past deeds, which are from astrological point of view can be foreseen. And if a person is not having good qualities, yeah, yeah, then they, yeah, it's they were not selected for marriage. But anyway, marriage will happen, were happening, that's okay. But that was the reason why these all things were followed in, yeah, to some extent. Yeah, so it's very very coming back to your question, Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, if one takes birth from such a person, right, what can save him is only devotee association. uh, this conditioning is so strong that regularly association of devotees, sadhu sang, has to be there, which only can change one's destiny for all good. Otherwise it goes in a autopilot mode. Just imagine you have sat into a flight which is autopilot, and it keeps going, it keeps going. In which direction? Whatever direction it is set. Hmm? If it is set to doom, it will doom. So what happens is the sadhus, they intervene in one's life by giving, yeah, uh, some good advice, or they are singing Hare Krishna on the streets, and then people are hearing to it, or one is getting prasadam, or in this way, one way or the other, they are uh, pulling the plug out of that autopilot model, and then um, give an opportunity to benefit. But in this case, King Anga was fed up. He tried everything, but the person is not in a position to hear because of his conditioning. Mm. So we see that even when the uh, devotees, yeah, King Vena was a devotee, sorry, King Anga was a devotee, he was there as father, but he couldn't do anything. Why? Huh? Because his conditioning was so strong, and because of a lot of envy, because of and because a lot of greed, he wanted to enjoy all these things. Yeah, so they dominated him or his good part.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
So it's very very important. Yeah, that's nice point, that we should always seek devotee association. Why? Because that is our saving grace. When we are with devotees, then we are saved. But as soon as when we go into this, what do you call this mode? Uh, Vengeance mode. That, oh, if someone did bad, let me also do bad. That will only bring us fall down. That's why it is said. What is it? What is that? What is that is unfavorable for devotional life? Janasanga. Janasanga. Associating with people who are um, materialistically prone. They have a lot of propensity to enjoy material life. If we are with that sangha, jana sangha, Janasanga Tyaga. If we are with that, it will mess up. So that's why what is favorable for bhakti? It is what? Sangat Tyaga. What kind of Sangat Tyaga? This. So what is that? Utsahat, Nishchayat, Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravartanat, and then comes this Sangat Tyaga, Shad Vritya, by associating with spiritual master and following the Shastras, one can develop bhakti, advance nicely. But what is the other thing? What is to be avoided? What is it? Forgot. What is the first one? Oh.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
What is the 6 qualities to give up?
Yeah. अत्याहारः
Atyahara.
प्रयासस्य प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रहः संसंगस्य गौल्यं च षड्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति.
Right, thank you. So we should be careful. If we want to at least save ourselves, we should understand where to invest and where not to invest time.
True, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I
Yeah,
was just
Hare
thinking,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, when King Anga left the kingdom, so is it also a dharma of a king? Because we heard many times that a king usually leaves the kingdom after giving up the kingdom to a worthy person.
Yeah.
So, but here we see not the same case. So, is it also a dharma, Prabhuji, of a kshatriya that he can leave the kingdom?
I'm just reading that last part of the chapter 13. Yeah. Sunless people are most fortunate, for they need not suffer the unbearable grief caused by a bad sun. They must have worshipped the Lord in their previous lives. A sinful son vanquishes one's reputation and causes irreligion and quarrel, which creates endless anxiety. No one wants such a son. Which intelligent man would desire such a son who is born of illusion and who makes one's home miserable? So, such a son is what? He is a moha bandhana. He is the cause of bondage and miserable. A bad son is better than a good son. Is another realization, right? Since a good son creates attachment for home, but a bad son creates a hellish home by which one easily develops detachment. So in this way, Vena's misbehavior helped Anga to get detached from this household life. Anga leaves home with these thoughts. King Anga becomes indifferent and eventually left home in the dead of night towards the forest, giving up all attraction for kingdom and opulence. When realization happens, so when it happens so strong, here in this case, didn't he rule the kingdom? Yeah, he did rule the kingdom. Yeah, then it's what you're saying is that okay, but the kingdom is unsafe. Yeah, but he got realization that after all, material world is unsafe. And then the question may come: did he do it, and is it not irresponsibility of a king to leave? Yeah, but he got that realization where he is no more bound in the varnashrama system. He really got it. And then what he did, eventually, Anga leaves the home, and then understanding this, the citizens, priests, ministers, they were feeling very sad. And they even sent people to search where Anga is. But no one could find. Of course, I think in the Purport, Prabhupada mentions that I think the people didn't search properly. They returned to the city, informed the sages who assembled them. There due to the king's absence. So here we see that the question is, did king do right or wrong? Yeah, he comes to this point that okay, it's out of his control, where he cannot take care of his son. This son is creating all kinds of disturbances. So he escaped.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, it clarifies. Yeah, so he's not under the
Yep.
the control. Yeah, under the jurisdiction of the Varnashram Dharma. Na? So then he could
That is
take
one
that
thing. That is
decision.
one thing. And yeah, who decides who can get out of it? Yeah. So if you see also in the case of Vidura in Hastinapur, he was a loyal servant of Hastinapur for many years. And then there was a situation, of course, I think today afternoon I may bring it up to discuss. I don't know if you are joining in the evening at Sushila Mataji's place. What is the cause of miseries? Yeah, so that is the topic. But what I was telling? What was I telling?
You were telling about not only that he was above this Varnashram Dharma.
Yeah, correct. So I
Yeah.
was bringing the example of Vidura. Yeah, the Lord brings situations such that we get this realization. Come on, I have been loyal for so many years. I have been serving the king so loyally, and now this Duryodhan is creating a situation. And yeah, now we are talking about Vidura, who is Dharmagya, and he left. Hmm? They understand this as the plans of the Lord, and they accept it, and they go on. It is not like, oh, no, let me take a small corner, let me get protection. I don't, if I go out, who will take care of me? Who will protect me? No. They see this as a plan of the Lord, okay. And then they move on. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you so much for joining. Panchakalpadrabhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Grandhara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.